Threads of Destiny. In the ethereal realm beyond mortal sight, where time flowed like a river and fate wove its intricate tapestry, dwelled the three sisters of fate, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. They were the weavers of destinies, the arbiters of life and death, tasked with spinning the threads of existence for every living being. Clotho, the youngest and most radiant of the sisters, held the distaff from which the threads of life emanated. With deft fingers she spun the delicate fibers, imbuing each with the essence of potential and possibility. Lachesis, the middle sister, measured the length of each thread with a steady hand. She determined the span of mortal life, weaving intricate patterns that mapped out the course of destiny. Atropos, the eldest and most somber, held the shears that severed the threads of life when the appointed time came. Her touch was final, her judgment unyielding, as she cut the threads with a solemn reverence for the natural order of existence. Together the three sisters worked in harmony, their movements synchronized in a dance as old as time itself. They resided in a celestial chamber, a place of timeless beauty, where the fabric of reality shimmered with the hues of fate. One day, as the sisters were weaving the destinies of mortals, a disturbance rippled through the fabric of existence. It was a disturbance unlike any they had felt before, a discordant note in the symphony of fate. Clotho's brow furrowed as she sensed the anomaly. "Sisters, do you feel that? Something is amiss." Lachesis nodded, her expression troubled. "It is as if a thread of destiny has been severed prematurely, disrupting the balance of the weave." Atropos, ever vigilant, narrowed her eyes. "We must investigate this disturbance. Such disruptions cannot be allowed to persist." Leaving their celestial chamber, the three sisters ventured into the mortal realm, their forms shimmering with otherworldly radiance. They traversed the realms unseen, guided by the faint echo of destiny's unraveling. Part 2. Their journey led them to a humble village nestled amidst verdant hills, where they found a young woman named Elena. She sat by the hearth, her face etched with sorrow as she mourned the loss of her beloved husband, who had perished in a tragic accident. Clotho approached Elena, her voice gentle as a summer breeze. "Fear not, mortal. We are the sisters of fate, and we have come to attend to the disturbance that has befallen you." Elena looked up, her eyes wide with wonder and disbelief. "The sisters of fate, but why have you come to me?" Lachesis stepped forward, her gaze penetrating. "Your husband's thread of destiny was severed before its time, disrupting the balance of the weave. We seek to understand why." Tears welled in Elena's eyes as she recounted the events that had led to her husband's untimely demise. She spoke of a dark figure, cloaked in shadows, who had appeared on the night of the accident, whispering promises of power and fortune in exchange for a soul. Atropos listened intently, her expression grave. "This dark figure has meddled with forces beyond mortal comprehension, seeking to alter the course of destiny for his own gain." Determined to set things right, the three sisters delved into the tapestry of fate, seeking the threads that had been tampered with. With each delicate touch, they unraveled the tangled skein of destiny, tracing the lines of causality back to their source. Their journey took them through realms both wondrous and perilous, where they encountered beings of myth and legend, each with their own role to play in the grand tapestry of existence. They faced trials of courage and cunning, overcoming obstacles that tested the limits of their resolve. At last, they came upon the dark figure who had dared to defy the natural order of the cosmos. He stood atop a towering precipice, his form shrouded in darkness as he gazed out across the expanse of creation. Clotho's voice rang out like a clarion call, cutting through the silence that hung heavy in the air. "You who would dare to challenge the sisters of fate, know that your actions have consequences beyond your reckoning." The dark figure turned to face them, his eyes blazing with malice. "Fools, you cannot stop me. I will remake the world in my image, bending destiny to my will." Lachesis stepped forward, her expression stern. "Your hubris blinds you to the truth, mortal. Destiny is not yours to command, but ours to weave." With a flick of her wrist, Atropos summoned her shears, their gleaming blades reflecting the light of distant stars. "The time has come to reap what you have sown, mortal. Your fate is sealed." In a swift and decisive motion, Atropos cut the dark figure's thread of destiny, severing it from the fabric of existence. With a cry of anguish, he vanished into the void, his presence fading like a whisper on the wind. The three sisters returned to the mortal realm, their task complete. They stood before Elena once more, their forms aglow with a radiant luminescence that spoke of their victory over darkness. "Your husband's thread of destiny has been restored," Clotho said, her voice imbued with warmth and compassion. "He has returned to the tapestry of life where his story will continue to unfold." Elena's eyes shone with gratitude as she gazed upon the sisters before her. "I cannot thank you enough for what you have done. You have restored hope where there was despair, and for that I am eternally grateful." With a final nod, the three sisters of fate vanished into the mists of time, their presence a beacon of light in a world fraught with darkness. And though their journey had been long and arduous, they knew that their work was far from over, for the tapestry of destiny was ever-changing, and their role as its guardians was eternal.